What is going on, guys? Welcome to Eagles Post Game Live. Today we are reacting to the Eagles versus Jets preseason. Joining us, as always, we are back. My man Rob at Rob Langy, at Philly_Madness on Twitter. What's up, man?
We get football back, and the Phillies beat the Mets all in the same night. Listen, man, this is what I was like dreaming of, and it was a hell of a night. And I'm excited. I'm actually weirdly excited to talk about a preseason game. It shows my sickness.
Love it. And then we've got my man Ty Book. What's up, Ty?
Dude, just fired up to be here. Got the house to myself for the first time in like 2 years. No kids, no wife. Please excuse my exuberance.
All right, Eagles Super Bowl. No, I'm just kidding. Let's lead off with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts wasn't sure he was going to get some snaps this preseason game, but then we learned that they were going to play at least a series. 6 of 6, 80 yards, 1 touchdown. I'm going to play the highlights. Rob, what did you see from Jalen Hurts in this game?
I saw a quarterback who was getting the ball out of his hands quick. I think that it was, outside of the first play that we're showing right here where he had to kind of take the pressure, but I thought he threw a good pass on the run. But he's shown the ability to do that going to the right-hand side. But a couple of the other plays, they were quick passes. He knew where he wanted to go with the ball. Guys were open. He was commanding the offense. I did think you still saw a little of the Jalen a little too quick at times to break the pocket. Noticed that a couple times. But all in all, 6 for 6, 80 yards, a touchdown. Technically scored 2 touchdowns. Not really much you can complain about there.
This is the play that I really like, Ty. And you're going to touch on Miles Sanders a little bit, catching the ball out of the backfield. But let's just get, Jalen Hurts taking what the defense gives him, man. That's something we didn't see a lot from this Eagles offense last year. What was your thoughts on Jalen Hurts today, Ty?
It looked like the game was a lot slower for him today than it was last year. And you're going to see that as a guy progresses. I was just really impressed with the scheme in general. We talked before we came on the show. I was happy to see Miles Sanders catching the ball out of the backfield. It's something we had a little bit of an issue with over the past couple seasons. And Hurts just looked sharp. He looked really good. Not a big sample size, and you're playing the Jets, but I do think the Jets are a better team than they were last year, specifically defensively. And I'm enthusiastic. I mean, it's the first preseason game, but I'm enthusiastic.
Absolutely. Here, I like this play design right here. Just get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands. Finds Quez on a quick route there. I think Miles Sanders was open there in the backfield as well. Like you said, guys, Jalen Hurts looked very comfortable inside the pocket, which is where we need to see him grow in 2022. Here, he leaves the pocket. This is that unnecessary roughness that he gets popped on the sideline, man. Are the Jets a fraud organization or what?
That guy should have been thrown out of the game. This is a preseason game, and it's not even like it was a bang-bang play. He's 3 yards out of bounds.
But I'll say this. If there's anybody who doesn't like Sirianni's fire, they love it now.
Oh, that
Yes.
Ross Tucker going, I can't read lips, but I think I agree with him. Maybe the best quote you're going to hear all year, right?
I loved Nick Sirianni's emotion there.
Yep.
It was like that was one of those moments where we went, that's our coach. That's our coach. You know what I mean? That was great.
Love it.
Yeah, that was absolutely epic, man. Nick Sirianni going absolutely off. I don't know who he was yelling at. He was clearly yelling at someone specifically, someone in the booth or something.
It looked like he was yelling at the Jets bench.
Was it?
And John Clark said that it was right at Robert Saleh, but I don't know if it was him or the defensive coordinator or the player. But it was so ridiculous. I mean, you don't do that in that situation.
Yeah. Here's another pass screen to Miles Sanders. Look at my man Cam Jergens. 10 yards down the freaking field. Cam Jergens actually played a lot more. We're going to deep dive into Cam Jergens in a little bit. Played a lot more than I thought he would, given Jason Kelsey's clean out. But man, Cam Jergens just moving people down the field. Jason Kelsey 2.0. And here's, I think, the touchdown pass. I could be wrong. A.J. Brown down the sideline, frees up Dallas Goedert for a wide open touchdown. Leaps into the end zone. Eagles 7-0. Jalen Hurts 6 of 6, 80 yards, 1 touchdown. What an epic debut in 2022, man. Can't really ask for more than that. How would you grade Jalen Hurts in this game?
No, he's an A. He's an A. I'm not going A plus. A solid A. Like, I mean, that you can't ask him to do more than that. The only way he's an A plus is if he makes some crazy, ridiculous play. And I thought he was just so consistent that it's just the perfect day. I give him a 94.
Yep. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I mean it's an A. Like I said, there's those little things that are still there, but a small sample size. That touchdown pass, I think my favorite thing about it is when you watch the replay, the two defenders that go to A.J. Brown that just leaves Dallas Goedert wide open, and it's that's the other thing A.J. Brown brings to your team, by the way. Even when he's not touching the ball, he's influencing the game. But no, I was very happy with what you saw from Jalen Hurts. Small sample size, as we said. But, yeah, I mean, you can't expect anything more when you get, 6 plays or 8 plays, whatever it is.
Yep. All right. Next up,
Eagles first, 24-21. Eagles lost 24-21, just in case anybody's watching. I want to point one thing out about the A.J. Brown comment. I love what Rob just brought up, where he is drawing guys. Just think about the fact that Devontae Smith did not play today. Mm-hmm. Wes Watkins is a legitimate 3 receiver. So you've got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert, who averaged more yards per catch than any tight end in the NFL last year. That is a scary combination. Really scary moving into this season. I am really excited for Sundays, and it's the first time in a long time. Like last year, I was not high on what we had. Man, am I pumped. I am really pumped.
Well, I think this is a win-win for the offense for the sake that it's not been easy going at all for this offense during training camp. As usual, the defense is always a step or two ahead of the offense, and that has been the case so far through Eagles training camp, and the Eagles offense looked terrific, albeit it is the New York Jets. It was the New York Jets. But let's throw it to the other side of the field before we get into some other guys. And the guy I want to bring up is a guy that we've been waiting for to see his Eagles debut, and that is Jordan freaking Davis. Here's a play. Jordan Davis getting into the backfield is something we're going to see. He didn't really get credit for this play, but this is a stone cold play that we're going to see a lot this Eagles season, where he's not going to get the sack, he's not going to get the tackle for loss, but the dude is going to blow up plays in the backfield on a regular basis. And my man, Nakobe Dean, flying in and getting that, tackle for no gain. Lead us off, Ty. Like, what did you see out of Jordan Davis here?
I mean, so if you listen to 610 or any of the Philadelphia Sports Talk, John Clark was on this week talking about training camp, and what kind of like stood out to me was him talking about when guys are double teaming him in camp. You can't tell if you're standing behind the defensive line. He is so big, you cannot tell who the double team is. Like, because you know who's on the offensive line, but like, just looking behind, you can't see their numbers. He's that big. The penetration and speed that this kid has on first and second down is something that we have not seen since Jerome Brown. Period. Like,
that's a hell of a statement. I
am old enough to say that. Right? I mean, my dad and I were on the phone talking today during the game, and I said to him, I'm like, Dad, I was really young, but that looks a whole lot like Jerome. And he just went, goddamn, son, you are right. And he does. He eats up a lot of space. Now, I don't think the conditioning's great. I think that he can be in better shape. But there were a couple of times today where he just dominated who was in front of him.
Yeah.
Specifically the play you showed there. And then love that Nakobe Dean came in and made the play behind him.
Georgia, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I think it was going up against a lot of Connor McGovern. There was a left guard there that I'm not honestly sure who that was for the New York Jets. But there was more than this play in this game. There was way more than this play in this game where Jordan Davis was routinely blowing up guys. There was one play, where the play where Zach Wilson tore his ACL, I believe, blew up the play on the line and chased him down a little bit. What's that?
Is that what that injury is being?
Yeah, he tore it.
So I was so back and forth between the Phillies and the Eagles. I never heard the report come out about Zach Wilson. That's a shame.
Yeah. Punish Ahab. So Ahab says his speed for Jordan Davis is absolutely terrific. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, and listen, his strength, I keyed on him on quite a few plays tonight. Look, Dive, you'll be proud of me. I actually had a notebook out and took notes watching this game.
Get the hell out of here.
But I keyed on him in a couple plays, and like you said, they're not going to show up on the stat sheet, but just watching his penetration, getting into the backfield, and a couple times, where his speed, he would beat the block, and then he would still be downfield and being the guy to touch. And I think it was on the play that Ty was just talking about, that he actually touches Zach Wilson down, and he was all the way in the backfield and had to come around. I mean, look, yeah, I understand that he's got to get more in shape, but as far as his motor and his hustle, he's got it. I mean, he does. He just has it. And, Ross Tucker made a great comment during the game. He said, man, if the linebackers are getting to see the backfield that clearly this year, watch out. And you saw it not only when he was in there, but with the other defensive tackles, because you saw Kaiser White come up. You saw TJ Edwards hit the gap. Nakobe Dean, I feel like Nakobe Dean was around the ball the entire time he was in the game, whether it was outside, inside, whatever. I've mentioned it before we came on air, and I just want to say it again. Watching the way the linebackers, and I'm calling it hunting, because it was like they were on the hunt tonight from the very first play, creating havoc, filling the gaps. You couldn't run on that first or second team with those linebackers back there. And, I know we've had Trout in the past, but I mean, maybe since that early 91 defense, and a lot of people put up there in one of the top 5, 10 defenses of all time, have we had that many linebackers that are just ball seekers, and they're going to come up and try to lay the wood. And I'm telling you, I had so much fun for, 3, 4, 5 series, whatever it was, watching the linebackers create havoc for an Eagles defense tonight.
Rob, first defensive series, you had TJ Edwards step up with Brandon Graham, no gain. Great play. Second play, Kaiser White picks off a pass.
Yeah.
You had back-to-back plays from Eagles linebackers. When does that happen? That's not supposed to happen.
I didn't know how to react. And I mean, and that's just like, and that's in a vanilla set, right? Like they really ran a 4-3, and they were just run like the only different, like Hassan Reddick would like come inside the D end and rush on passing downs. But you know that there's going to be hybrid sets where Nakobe Dean's out there with Hassan Reddick and Kaiser White and TJ Edwards, and it's like, holy shit! I really don't know how to respond to it.
I gotta comment on this. I said it before we came on. I was a huge Gannon naysayer last year. The first 2 series specifically, the defense, and obviously it was very vanilla, but just the defense itself was more fun to watch flow. But also, I want to think about the fact that you can put Nate Davis in the middle now, right? You can put Fletcher Cox and Hargrave on the outside on rundowns. So you have Nate Davis in the middle, Cox, Hargrave on the outside, Jacoby Dean and Edwards in the middle, Riddick on the outside, and then you can play Brandon Graham on the other outside if you really wanted to, who looked really, really quick tonight after an Achilles surgery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you're like you were saying, the hybrids that you can run with this personnel is stupid. Like, sitting there, like, thinking about my Madden lineup, you know, like, just like, oh my God, you know, it's awesome. It's really awesome.
It's a lot of fun to think about what Gannon can do with so much better personnel at his disposal in 2022. Punish Ahab says, just by this game, the night and day difference at linebacker is insane. And that was one of the things we've been raving about all off season. To finally see it in motion is something wild. It's something wild, especially when you consider like Nate Gary's out there playing for the Washington Commanders right now. Like it's pretty freaking wild to think about.
Why are the Commanders
I want to know where the Alex Singleton should be the all-time starting linebacker for the Eagles people are at right now. Alex Singleton, like a nice guy, like I love, but this is what real linebacker play looks like. I mean, this is what real linebacker play looks like.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to, I think, one of the biggest things we learned tonight, and that is Cam Jergens. Cam freaking Jergens was a guy that I didn't think he would play that many snaps given Jason Kelce's injury and his role just going from here to here in just a few days span. But my goodness, was Cam Jergens all over the place in this game. Again and again and again, hitting that second level, you know, getting Jason Huntley, you know, downfield, whether it was a run or a screen, you name it. Cam Jergens was everywhere. I mean, he looked like Jason Kelce incarnate. I'll throw it to you, Ty. What was your take on Cam Jergens?
Well, a couple of things. One, the amount of snaps he played today leads me to believe that Kelce is not as unhealthy as we think. I think the surgery went well, and they wanted him to be out there as much as he could be, and we're not concerned about him not being available week one. I do believe that, and maybe be the complete other end of it too, right? Like maybe they had him out there all day because they're worried about that, but I think it's the other way in the first preseason game. And my God, man, he's so athletic, and he's bigger than Kelce. Like
that play you're showing.
Yeah, absolutely. He is quick off the ball. Did not see one bad shotgun snap, which is what I always worry about with rookie centers. And I mean, he's player of the game tonight for me. And Ross Tucker took it away. If you watch the broadcast, Ross Tucker made it very clear he was a player of the game. But I was blown away about how good he was. But I'm also just blown away about how good this offensive line is going to be. Right? Dickinson is out today. Not hurt, just not playing. And him and Mulata are apparently just going to anchor down the left side of that line. Lane Johnson looks healthier than he has in like 3 years. I mean, he looks trim and fit. And then you've got this kid to back up Kelce. What a great sign for this Eagles team.
What about you, Rob?
Yeah, listen, there were a couple of those plays in the one play you just showed. I know they only got 4 yards, but when you looked at some of the replays, it literally looked like Jason Kelce pulling on a play and literally just throwing guys with one hand to the side. And the one time he lays a block and then he laid down on the guy, just flat out pancaked him. He's got that energy about it. I'm watching it on TV right now. He just you can't say enough about this kid right off the bat. I mean, and it makes sense now why they used the second round pick on him in that, you know, in the draft, because Jason Kelce pinpointed him and he plays just like him. You know, he plays just like him. And the other one was on their second TD when they had the 4th and goal. If you watch the push that he alone gets up the middle, it legitimately handed Jason Huntley the touchdown. because he pushed the guy 4 yards into the end zone, and it was just an easy walk-in at that point. That's what you want out of this guy. And if you're getting that now, when he doesn't even need to do it this year, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
What does that tell you about what kind of either front office guy or coach Jason Kelce is going to make in a couple of years? There's not a hope it's in this organization, right? Like, this organization trusted him enough to listen to his opinion on this kid, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the organization is pretty tight that way, but they listened to his opinion, and after just one game, I'm sitting here going, God damn, he hit the nail on the head. That is the guy. Like,
yep.
I love this comment too.
Yeah, Punch Abe says the past 3 years I've been telling myself they need to win the center lottery to replace Kelce. Well, that's changing, I guess. So, I'll throw it to you, Rob. Anything else you want to touch on before we get into player of the game?
Yeah, I want to touch on 3 things that bothered me tonight.
I got a few.
I figured, I didn't know when we were going to do that, but I figured let's end on a positive note, so let's just mix it in here. Jason Huntley can't play, and I don't want to see Jason Huntley, and really I don't need to see Reed Stinnett either with those 2 guys. Jalen Reagor looked good catching the football. I know that they made it an absolute conscious effort to get him the ball with the second string, because I'm pretty sure they threw 4 straight passes to him. But okay, all good and well. But not putting him back on punt returners. He's one of the he makes Reno Mahe look like a Pro Bowler. He is the best man I've seen ever. The one time he had the ball and there was 10 yards between him and the next guy, and he ran sideways and got nothing. Nothing. Bro, come on, man. But good to see him catching the ball out there on the offensive side of the ball. Number 3, Eagles fans should be embarrassed with themselves that in the third quarter of this game, they started doing my least favorite thing in sports history. The wave does not get done at Lincoln Financial Field. We are football fans. We are not Tampa. We are not Atlanta, where we don't even know who's on the team. Do not come into the link and do the wave and act like you're doing something cool. It's nonsense. It's horrible, and I was embarrassed. I was so happy to not be in that stadium in that moment. That was my biggest negative on the game, by the way.
Who's the dude in the booth? I can't remember his name. What's his name?
Ross Tucker or
Ross Tucker, I think. I think it's Ross Tucker. I'm not sure who that was, but the fact that like he was revving, I know that's his job. Like he's paid by the Eagles to rev up viewership in the fourth quarter, and the wave is the most bogus bullshit thing. Period. And he was revving it up like this was the greatest thing he's ever seen, and that was pathetic.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because I'm attacked all the time for my hatred of the wave.
People are
like, oh, you don't want to have fun. You don't want to. No, I'm there to watch the game and have fun watching the game. Stop doing the damn wave. That is because you are not paying attention to the game. If that ever happened in the regular season, I would probably get thrown out and banned from the link, because I'd throw something at the person who started it. I don't ever throw things, but I would, because that upset me so much. So much.
Love it.
You are our spirit animal, man. I fucking hate the wave. I mean, I was like, I was on the phone with my dad, and I'm like, listen to this. They're fucking talking about the wave. That's how you know it's the third quarter of a preseason game. They have nothing left to talk about.
What our guy here is saying, the Game of Thrones Shamrock, or I just started watching the show The Last Kingdom.
That's good. That's a good show.
Dude,
I'm the first season. Don't tell me anything.
No. It's not giving anything away. But their shame walk is you basically have to crawl on your hands and knees while everybody throws shit at you to go kiss a cross. That would be the other thing that you should have to do if you start the wave in the link. So I'm totally on board with a shame walk of some sort for whatever jackass did that tonight. I'm sorry. If it was a kid, I'm sorry. You're not a jackass. You're just a child.
I'm impressed, Rob. The Last Kingdom's awesome. It was a
I
good show.
just got in, dude. I just started watching. I watched the first season in 2 nights. I was up to 2 the last 2 nights watching it.
They're all good.
Still hooked.
Yeah. That's an addicting show.
I'm just through the first season. We just finished Peaky Blinders, and like I'm in on that at this point.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to catch up on Stranger Things right now, but
Uhtred might be one of my favorite like hero main characters in the show. I think
good.
Hell yeah.
Love
good.
Guy.
I'll throw out a dislike for me. And it's not so much Britton Covey, but he only had 2 targets. He had no catches. He did get some return chances. But outside of that, I picked him as my player of the game. Here, I was going to get a lot more opportunities. They just weren't there. Reeds the net stinks.
Yeah,
he was giving me like Clayton Thorson vibes. He stinks.
Yes, that's what it looked like.
Outside of like a 3-yard pass, Sinek really, truly doesn't give you much. So anything, final thoughts, dislikes for you, Ty, before you get into player of the game?
It was a well played first like quarter and a half. I watching the third and fourth quarter was painful. Rob literally hit on everything I was going to complain about, so I'm not going to bring it back up.
All right.
Kick return coverage was atrocious throughout the night.
Yeah, kick return coverage was not great.
And it doesn't matter, right? But they take the lead with a minute left, and they give up a 60-yard return, which is like if those things happen in the regular season, we are going to lose our minds. Like they have to clean that part of special teams up. You got to be able to cover, especially if you can't return.
The 2 things that really stand out for me was forcing the ball to Rager. I'm over it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't. And the other is moving JJ Arcega-Whiteside to tight end. No one cares. He's not going to make the team as a tight end. Jackson and what's the other kid? The kid that caught the ball and they called him Goddard. Stoth?
Jack Stoll?
Stoll, yes. Both of them are going to make the team before JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
Oh, easily.
This wasn't a way for the Eagles to save face by cutting JJ, right? Because they knew.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, but I'm just, I'm over those things, right? Like, I think the defense played really well when the starters were out there. I am a little worried about depth, though, watching the third and fourth quarter, but other than that, happy with the game. And honestly, I'm just over the moon about the Phillies tonight. Like, that win was just – it didn't matter that the third and fourth quarter were that bad because, like, I just could not fucking believe that Stott scored on that ball. And then the David Robertson, of all people, came in and shut it down.
I never doubted that guy for a minute.
Oh, come on.
I'm not gonna lie, but the majority
the same contract he was with the Phillies, right?
What's up, Keith Hernandez? What's going on, man? How you feeling? How you feeling, Keith?
Oh, the Apple announcer took a shot at Keith Hernandez. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
He said, and I'll say it again. How about that Philly defense? I was like, oh man, that's a national announcer taking a shot at Keith. I love it.
What? I mean, honestly though. What, and I know we're talking Eagles, but how do you have Cliff Floyd as the player that announces that game?
Yeah.
How is Cliff fucking Floyd the color guy? Right? Like, you telling me David Eckstein's not available? Like, anybody but a former Met. Dear God. Sorry.
All right, let's roll on.
Yeah. Sorry.
Matty B says Zach Wilson gone for the year. Minshew to the Jets for a second. Carson Strong, the Eagles backup. Karma's a bitch, isn't it? The fact that they gave Jalen Hurts a shot like that on the sideline, and Zach Wilson, like, next possession is out with a torn ACL.
He's just,
I'm not hoping for injuries on any man, but
no, come on. Zach's just pumped that he gets to hang out with his mom's best friend.
Listen, Zach Wilson is a national treasure, and I love him. And I feel bad that he's going to miss this season, but it won't stop me from loving me some Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Not even because of what he did, but how he handled the situation. How he popped back on Instagram out of nowhere and said, "Been away for a few days. What's going on?" That was the single greatest line ever.
It really is.
Like it made the ex-girlfriend look that much more bad for what she did.
Oh, it's awesome.
all right, let's roll on to our player of the game. Give it to you, Ty. Who's your player of the game?
Oh. I mean, Jergens is player of the game. I mean, I can't help but say it, but honestly, you know what? It's Gannon. Gannon in the first 2 seasons.
Wow. Okay.
I was so hard on him last year, and Jergens. Everybody knows Jergens is player of the game, but it's Gannon on the first 2 series. I really liked, even though it was vanilla. I liked it was different than last year, and guys were where they needed to be. There were lanes open, and he has the players to do what he wants to do now. I think.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
What about you, Rob?
I mean, you could say Jergens. I'm going to go with the middle linebackers. I'm going to go with Nakobe Dean, Kaiser White, T.J. Edwards, because I felt like when those guys were out there, when the pile started to break up, they were coming up from the bottom of the pile almost every time. And I think, it's just such an excitement for me to see middle line. Like, look, Hassan Reddick's going to do his thing in the regular season and the outside guys. And Davion Taylor is who Davion Taylor is. But to watch those 3 guys, 2 newcomers, and a kid who we've been watching now for 4 years or whatever it's been, just, creating havoc at the line of scrimmage. It was so nice to see. And, you hope that continues into the regular season. But tonight, the linebackers, outside of Cam Jergens, the linebackers are what stood out to me.
Real quick on Rob's comment. Ray Diddy retiring, so sad. But the last thing I heard him talk about was TJ Edwards at camp looking like a guy who was no longer learning but reacting. And I think that is a great way to describe, especially today. He did it a couple of times. He just doesn't look like it doesn't take time to process anymore. He just reacts.
TJ Edwards could finally be that undrafted free agent that the Eagles signed, where we all go, man, what a steal they got there. Corey Clement, I guess, was out for a year, but like TJ Edwards could really become a player for this team.
Yep, I agree.
He was my winner of training camp just a few nights ago. I thought he was absolutely terrific. And it's going to take a little time for Nakobe Dean to kind of get that IQ, get that intelligence, get those instincts on the same page with the NFL speed. But it'll come. My player of the game will be Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis, you look at the box score, the defensive box score. This is something I've said so many times on these shows. Didn't have a single notch in the box score. Go look at the box score. You can't find his name. Jordan Davis is nowhere to be found. Didn't have a single tackle. Didn't have a single sack. No tackles for losses. No quarterback hits. But the dude, when he was in the game, was changing the offense. That is what Jordan Davis is going to do. He's going to change a scheme. He's going to change an entire offensive scheme. He's going to make guys run away from him. He's going to get into the grill of opposing quarterbacks, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Jordan Davis is my player of the game. He only played a little bit, and he's not going to be on the box score. He's not going to get those sexy stats, but the guy was terrific tonight, and that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a flash from Jordan Davis. And he was going up against Connor McGovern, who is a very good lineman, a very good lineman for the Jets. He's like not great by any means, but he's right in that like above average center kind of dude in the NFL. So Jordan Davis was my pick for tonight. Rob, how would you grade tonight's performance?
I'd grade the performance probably C plus. I mean, like Ty said earlier, the first quarter and a half from the top guys was pretty good. I would have liked to have seen more from some of these younger guys that are really trying to make a roster. I felt for a guy like Josh Jobe because he went in with the second string and just got picked on. The kid from Alabama. I know he's an undrafted free agent, but he's a guy that I thought maybe could squeak on. But I will say, at the same time, when you say that, a guy like Tay Gallen seemed to make a couple plays and was really fired up tonight. That's the guy that came over, I believe, in the trade for Zach Ertz. And he's a guy that obviously, they hope that they could do. I thought Zach McPherson was okay with the second team. But once you got to the third and fourth quarter, no one really stood out. No one really impressed me. And that was a little bit disappointing. And the fact that, they scored 14 points early and then never scored again until a minute left in the game. So I'll give it a C plus from that standpoint. But if you were ranking just the first and second team guys, I think a high B plus is probably where you're at.
We have Big Green saying, wow, my quarterback tore his ACL. No worries. We have Joe Flacco who didn't play tonight. What about you, Ty?
I'm a C plus with the first half. I mean, they keep that first half. I mean, they're an A. I liked what I saw from the defense. I even liked what I saw from Gardner Minshew. I mean, if Hurts is going to move around as much as he does, there's a good possibility that we're going to see some Minshew this year. So I thought the first half was well designed. In the second half, I don't think it would have mattered if somebody drew it up with a fucking crayon. I don't think anybody would have been able to figure it out. And that worries me, right? Like, it doesn't worry me that I think that we're going to lose, 15 games, but it worries me about the depth and some of these younger players that they brought in. Jobe's a great point. I really like that kid. I thought he was going to be a guy that snuck onto the roster as a special teams player, and if we got a little shorthanded on the defensive secondary, but like tonight, he was not good. But all in all, a C, but almost all second half. If you're going first half, second half grades, first half is a really good B plus. Second half is a really bad D minus.
The Phillies game absolutely made the second half so much more.
Yeah,
I guess more bearable.
Yeah.
Not even close. Big Green. Nakobe Dean is who I thought we were trading up for. Who was he referencing? Who am I missing?
In the first round. I mean, a lot of us thought Nakobe Dean was going to be a first round linebacker. I don't think that they have to trade up.
Oh, I thought he was talking. I thought he was a Jets fan. All right.
No. We traded up for Davis. It's not Nakobe Dean.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. So, yeah.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Rob, anything you want to plug, man? Final thoughts?
I want to plug that I am so excited that it's going to be time to talk Eagles football every week. Me and Dibes will be coming on. I think, Dibes, what are we thinking? Mondays is going to be kind of our slot.
Monday nights, baby.
Monday nights are going to be our slot, and then post-game shows and anything else coming up. And when the Sixers get Kevin Durant, it's just going to be a great time. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm just going to throw it out. I hate Twitter. I hate Twitter because I would have had no thought of it. And then they say he mentioned it. And then you see him and James Harden at the concert and then in Barcelona working out. You're like, oh, you jackass. It's not going to happen. Why do you do this to me? But no. But we'll, I'm on Party on Broad. This is where I like to be. I love talking sports with these guys. Love talking birds. I'm glad it's back.
Good time, man. Good times. We have Patrick in the house. What's up, guys? What's going on? Patrick, he is a Jets fan. Who did the Jets take in the first round? Well, it was Sauce Gardner, right? It was Sauce Gardner.
Maybe they traded up in the third and took somebody else that wasn't Nakobe Dean.
Who am I missing? Who's that second pick? Let me know, Big Green. What about you, Ty?
I got some really exciting stuff. If you guys want me for any Eagles stuff, let me know. I'm really pumped about that. And I'm in Phillies, too, as the season moves on. But there is a new podcast coming out. It is Bucket Hats and Birdies. as anybody that's watched before, we are a golf podcast. We have picked up some really big sponsors. We're actually getting paid to do it at this point, and we are pumped about it. So Bucket Hats and Birdies at Ty Golf 9 Instagram. You can go check me out there. But in the next 3 weeks, we're about to launch something really cool, really good stuff. I'll obviously let Chris and Rob and everybody at the Painted Lines know, because they were a big part of this happening when we were the Pull the Pin podcast on the Painted Lines. So we're super pumped about that, and we don't forget. We're really excited. Still want to get some sort of the Painted Lines golf outing out there, but yeah, man, please check me out at TyBook3 on Twitter or at TyGolf9 on Instagram. And there's going to be a new Instagram, a new Twitter, and a bunch of new awesome stuff about to happen that is a lot of fun that I have to wait about a week to talk
about. Love it, man. Love it. Patrick says, how can I link in the show? We're closing up shop here. Next time, Patrick. Next time, man. You can join us for real. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Tons and tons of Eagles content coming to the channel over the next day or two. I did a quick Jalen Hurts breakdown during halftime. You can go check that out. I'll just give you my quick thoughts on every play we saw from Jalen Hurts. Party on Bro will be going down on Monday. Rob, our guys from DSM Media, will be joining us for a crossover show. Remember Dylan? That'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
We always have fun.
Always a good time. Always a good time. My guys at DSM Media. So, Ty, what's the podcast called one more time?
Bucket Hats and Birdies.
Bucket Hats and Birdies.
Yeah.
Love it, man. I love it, man. All right.
It's fun. I will. Honestly, we're 3 days away from a huge release. I will send you guys all the info. It's gonna be a ton of fun. And we're looking for guests. We're looking for everything. Whether you've ever played golf before or not, it's awesome. And we're gonna have a bunch of giveaways and free rounds of golf to give out, and it basically everywhere from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. So it's good stuff.
It's awesome, man. All right, Bucket Hats and Birdies. My man Rob over there at Philly_Manis. I am Dives, Mr. Crockpot. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll be back again for every single Eagles post-game show there is. Much more to come here moving forward in terms of previews, preview shows like pregame shows, halftime shows, and more to come. So thank you, everyone, for watching. For Rob, for Ty, for myself. Stay awesome, everyone.